Hey guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? So I just want to rant. I'm transparent. I tell you guys my process, and that is whether I like what I like, what I'm going to say or not. It's what I feel is right, and I say whether I would have that be true or not. I just say what I think is true. Yes, my neighbor bullied me. He cornered me, threatened me, the whole deal. However, because of the threat of the noise, I did a couple things different in my recording today in the hippie room. First of all, I put the amp closer to the phone, which is something I needed to do anyway. I was kind of overcompensating because the amp was further away from the phone than it needed to be, and I wanted it to be. So I thought I better play loud. But what I did was I put the amp closer to the phone, as close as I could get it to the phone without being in my own way so you couldn't see me. So it's off to the side a little, but it's way closer to the phone, at least by a bit. It's quite a bit closer to the phone than it used to be. And that made a better recording, and all that. First of all, that helped the recording process. I needed to do that anyway. And then I just turned the volume down a little because I needed to, because my asshole neighbor is going to beat the crap out of me if I don't, LOL. But by turning the volume down, I actually can hear what I'm playing better. And that makes my more fun to play in many ways because I can hear what I'm doing. And it makes me able to play weirder scales because I can hear the notes. I can hear what I'm playing. So I did a bunch of stuff on this jam, which I called Dancing with Bullies, that I never did live really. I played in Phrygian, natural Phrygian, not Phrygian dominant, the fifth mode of harmonic minor, which kind of gets sucked back into harmonic minor in my book a lot of the time. I played Phrygian, natural Phrygian, no a minor third, no major third, just third mode of the major scale, Phrygian mode, like Al Di Meola would play, or does play, or whatever. And then moved it around, and I liked that sound, and I could hear those notes because I had the volume down low enough that I could actually hear what I was playing enough to make that make sense. If that makes any, if you know what I mean. If it's so loud that you can't hear the notes, you just feel like playing whatever you can. But if you can hear the notes, you can play in Phrygian and you can hear the difference. You can hear the Phrygian mode come through because you can hear what you're playing. I did Phrygian mode in several keys and all that. It was fun and it sounded good, I think. And it's different than what I usually do. I don't usually play in Phrygian mode. But there's no mode or scale that I say I don't want to play in. I want to play everything. So eventually I will get to everything if I think about it long enough and whatever. And that's one of the things I like. I like Phrygian mode because it exists and it's part of music. And then I slipped into Lydian mode. I did the same thing with Lydian, which is a totally different mode, but I can hear that because the volume was lower as well. You can hear the Lydian come through. It sounds different than Ionian, way different actually, a lot different than Ionian is Lydian. And I did some Lydian mode stuff, which I don't usually get to do because it's so loud you can't tell what I'm playing. You can't tell if it's Lydian or what I'm doing. But I could tell, and I like playing the Lydian. I enjoy that. I enjoy the fringe modes, Lydian, Phrygian. Phrygian's got a flat second, Phrygian's got an augmented fourth, so they're kind of off the beaten path. But I like that. What rocker? The only time I've heard a rock, I'm going to give a toot the horn of this dude. The only time I've significantly heard someone play Phrygian, natural Phrygian, in a rock context is "Little Dreamer" by Van Halen, and Eddie did that. Eddie played. I mean, I can't make it a mouth. I can't. How's it go? I don't know. It's hard. He actually plays Phrygian, natural Phrygian in that song, and that's so rare in rock and roll. But I like that sound. And he also played some Phrygian in Eruption, but just for a second. It's hard to make. He didn't stay on it very long. But that's cool. And then as far as Lydian, Steve Vai and Joe Satriani always play a lot of Lydian, and that's worth playing that. It's a good sound. I like that. So that's a good thing that came out of turning the volume down. Another good thing that came out of turning the volume down is along the same vein as what I'm already saying. I can hear my notes better, so I just can articulate better. I did a bunch of classical type stuff where I did some arpeggio stuff, and I did some even bluesy stuff, but you could hear the notes because it wasn't overdriven so much you can't hear anything. So And I think it got me I think it got me more prepped to record in the studio than I was before I turned everything down a little bit, because if you go into the studio blaring it at 11, people are probably going to tell you to turn it down in the studio anyway, because it gets a better tone and you can hear what you're doing. So I think the whole idea of turning it down and putting the amp closer to the phone actually prepared me for the studio work as well. And it didn't overdrive the phone, so you could hear the notes. It just was an all-around good thing. And I'm not saying my asshole bully neighbors meant to help my music, but in one way or the other, a roundabout way, they did, because I needed to do that anyway, and it kind of put me in the corner, literally and figuratively, to do that, and I needed to anyway, and I'm glad I did. And you can hear the notes better. I can play more articulately because I can hear the notes better. And it's still loud enough you get a good distortion tone. It's just not overdriven to the point where you can't hear what you're doing and the phone can't even tell what you're doing. It overdrives the phone mic too, I have a feeling. And I stepped back a little bit in my chair so that my amp could be closer to the phone, but I think you get a better look at me that way. I was too close to the phone. I was too in your face. I'm back a little bit now. You can see, I think it's actually still a good view of me too. So in some roundabout, fucked up way, thanks to my neighbors for helping me do this. It forced me to do what I needed to do anyway, and it's a good thing, I think. And I'm saying this before I even know how that video did. It hasn't the results, but I like it. I like what I was able to do, how it sounded, and how I think the recording came out, and what I was able to play. It takes just discipline yourself to not just have to have it so loud that it doesn't make any sense anymore. And then it forces you to clean up your playing and also know what you're playing, which frees you up to play things that you really wanted to play that you weren't playing, and things that you don't usually play that you can now play. And I'm thankful. I needed to do that. And I like Phrygian mode, and I like Lydian mode. I like playing those off the beaten path modes. And you can't really do that when you're blaring so loud that you can't tell if it's Phrygian, Aeolian, or whatever. All you can tell is maybe if it's minor or major. You're just playing so loud, people can't tell what you're doing. So I'm saying what I feel is right, whether it makes me look good or not. I actually needed to do that, and I'm thankful to my neighbors for helping me do that, because they did. So there's that good that came out of that. So in some long roundabout way, thanks, but yet you're still assholes, but you still help my music too. So there's like both sides to that, and they're both true to me. But they're both true. Both of those sides are true. I needed to turn it down anyway. You can hear the recording better. You see, I'm in a better place. I'm moved back a little bit. You can hear the notes I'm playing. I can play differently. Just give me an idea. The Matter always says that I change how I play based on my sound. And we've always thought of that, at least I have, in terms of just the effect we're using, but also the volume. I just not thought of that. If you have me play loud, I'm going to play a certain way. If you have me play lower, I'm going to play a different way. I just respond to the sound of what I'm getting. But the sound isn't just the sound quality of the effect or whatever effect is going on, but it's also the volume. I respond to that too, and I play differently at high volumes than low volumes, and I needed to play at a lower volume, and I like the way I play at a lower volume, and I think I play better at a lower volume sometimes, and if it's the right, if you do it right, if it's loud enough, I can still get a good tone, but quiet enough, I can hear what I'm playing. That also changes what I play. I'm reacting to the volume too. Note to the moderator. In the studio, if you want me to play differently, turn me up or loud or soft will actually help too. We'll make it different also. I never thought of it that way. I just thought of it as whatever effect we're using, but it's also the volume of it. So new idea for me. Matter probably already knew that, but I'm just giving, but I just now figured that out. So it helps if the player knows what's going on too, not just the producer, right? Anyway, thank you to my friends, my friend Jenny for interviewing me in front of my house, my friend Don and my friend Marissa for filming me. Don filmed me on YouTube. Marissa filmed me on tripod with a very expensive looking camera. We both had mics, me and Jenny, so she could hear it, better, not just us yelling in the air, but we were microphoned. and no technical difficulties happened because both our mics, me and Jenny's mics, were still working at the end, which means they worked all during it. So the mics worked, and the phone didn't die when Don filmed it on YouTube. I only had like 23% on my phone. It could have died right in the middle of that, but it didn't. So that worked out. And thank you guys for filming me. Literally that film that they have, I'm like, is theirs to do whatever they want with. I don't care what they do with it. They can do anything they want with it. They have my total permission to do whatever they want. They can put it they can send it to anyone, play it anywhere. I'm good. That's kind of how I am anyway. I put things out, but I don't really put things out that I don't put things out unless I'm comfortable with them being everywhere. It's just, I get the concept of internet, and when I put something out, it's already theirs. It's already everybody's, and I get that, and I put it out when I'm comfortable, and I get that when I put things out, and I'm okay. I just let that, that's cool. Well, that's that. I have a big comfort. I have a wide comfort zone. So what are you gonna do about it? I mean, I'm just I just do. So anyway, I'm in a good mood. And why am I in a good mood when I just had to turn everything down because of a bully neighbor? But yet I am, because it sounded good, it felt good. It improved me as a player and musician. It made the music better. I am happy about what I got to play. I'm happy about playing Phrygian and Lydian modes. I'm tired of playing it. I'm not tired, because I like those modes too, but I'm tired of all the rockers playing Dorian, Aeolian, and Mixolydian, and that's that. Unless they're classical people, then they play in harmonic minor and Phrygian dominant, and that's that. But I don't hear people playing Phrygian natural or Lydian very much. Yeah, Joe and Steve play Lydian, but they're off the beaten path themselves. And then Al Di Meola plays Phrygian, but nobody cares about him because he's a fusion guy. He's a jazz dude, not a rock and roller. But rock and roll, Lydian, and Phrygian natural are cool things, and I enjoy the sound of them, and I'm glad I got to play them, and I enjoyed it. So I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.